Steelers win Week 3 versus the New England Patriots by a final score of 21-14. It certainly wasn't pretty, Steelers Nation, but a win is a win, and now we're off to Dublin. Welcome into the Steelers Talk Postgame Show. I'm your host, Jack Sperry. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Currently filming this on our Steelers Talk Live watch party. We had a fantastic showing today with thousands of people joining us to watch the Steelers game. We're going to be live early in the morning for the Dublin game next Sunday, guys. Make sure you click that subscribe button to never miss a game and to never miss any of our postgame shows either throughout the course of the 2025 Steelers schedule. So now let's talk about this game, guys. 21-14, only touchdown scored in this game. Aaron Rodgers and the offense started really hot. They did a really good job first two drives scoring touchdowns, and then they just really stalled out for most of the rest of this game, but then put together a really good clutch final drive, a 3rd and 6 touchdown pass to Calvin Austin III, who led the team in receiving today with 34 yards on 3 catches, and of course, with that touchdown. But the Patriots were the team that was moving the football for most of this game. Drake May had a pretty darn good performance, 28-37, 268 yards, was their leading rusher today as well. Multiple big runs from him in key moments, had 2 touchdowns, and he had an interception, had a fumble as well. But then, really the story of this game was the fumbles from the New England Patriots, guys. 4 fumbles lost in this game by New England. So the Steelers defense certainly back to punching that football out. That's been really the bread and butter of this defense for many years, and it's why they have allowed less than 20 points to their opponent for the first time this season. So very gritty win for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and let's give out some game balls here to the people that I think deserve them. We'll start with T.J. Watt. And listen, man, a lot of people were talking about T.J. Watt after these first 2 weeks, saying he's washed, not worth the money, all that different stuff. And you can still have that opinion, but T.J. got 2 sacks today. He had a fumble recovery, and he was affecting Drake May in this football game. And honestly, he has been affecting the quarterback in the first 2 games as well. It's just that he wasn't getting the quarterback on the ground the same way that he was today. So, you can tell TJ and this defense, specifically this defensive line, brought a lot of focus to this week. There's still some issues in coverage that we'll talk about here in just a second on the Steelers defense. But, man, this stat line is what Steelers fans wanted to see in this football game. Hopefully it continues as the season goes on for Mr. TJ. Then we get on to Cam Hayward, another defensive player. He was responsible for 2 of the Steelers' turnovers today. He had a tip ball. Second week in a row, he's had a tip ball that ended up going right into the arms of a Steelers defender. That was huge to get that interception before the half, and then he punched out another ball at the 1-yard line. So Cam Hayward might have saved 2 touchdowns for the Steelers today. I think I got to give him my MVP trophy because of that, guys. Had a forced fumble, had a sack, had a PBU that led to an interception. Monster game for Cameron Hayward, and it certainly seems like he is hopefully going to be ending up worth the money that the Steelers hopefully end up paying him at the end of the season if he hits those incentives. Then we get to Jaylen Warren, and we talked about it in our preview this week, guys. One of my keys to victory was to feed Jaylen Warren, and feed him they did. He had over 20 touches in this football game, and the Steelers didn't have that many opportunities in this game to get him the football, right? There was only a very limited amount of offensive snaps. The Steelers were not on the field for a lot in this football game, and they still fed him, and they used him like a true feature back. They didn't really put Kenneth Gainwell out there too much, and Gainwell I thought actually did pretty well when he did get his opportunities. But Warren, man, making guys miss, picking up big first downs, catching the ball out of the backfield, doing all the things that he does, man. He is the best offensive player on this team, and he needs to continue to be featured in this offense. Then, hey, Calvin Austin III, give him his credit, man. 2nd touchdown of the season for him. DK Metcalf also got a 2nd touchdown of the year today. But Calvin, that big-time 3rd and 6 where he's getting press coverage on the outside. And, all the Calvin haters, what do they say? He's too small. He can't hold up on the outside. He can't make tough catches. He had to adjust to that football. Rodgers slightly underthrew it and put it on his back shoulder. He just beat his guy flat out off the line. And I've said for years, guys, that Calvin is a better outside receiver than he is in the slot, in my opinion. And I think all 3 of his catches came from an outside alignment. So Calvin, he had an off week last week, gets back to playing some good football this week. Really happy for him, man. For now, he is definitely this team's wide receiver, too. Then we get to Jabril Peppers, who I thought looked excellent out there today. One of my biggest criticisms of the Steelers' defensive coaching staff today is that they put Chuck Clark out there way too often. Jabril Peppers needs to be the full-time starting strong safety, especially as long as Deshaun Elliott's out. If Deshaun can't go versus the Vikings next week in Dublin, Jabril Peppers should get every strong safety snap there is, all right? He had some really good stuff against the run today. He helped this run defense have a big bounce-back week, all right? And we'll talk about the run defense later in the show. But Jabril, really a big-time player today, in my opinion. Can't wait to watch the film and see exactly how he played. But just watching him live, it was a good performance. And then the fact that he got that revenge versus his former team just makes it even more sweeter. He also had a forced fumble. I don't know if he got credit for that forced fumble. Maybe they gave it to T.J. Watt. I don't know. But sure looked like to me that Peppers forced that fumble. But good day overall from number 40 in black and gold. So who's your MVP? Let me know down there in the comments section. Who was today's MVP for your Pittsburgh Steelers? For me, I got to give it to Captain Cam Hayward, man. In my opinion, he saved 2 touchdowns for this team today, and of course, that's the difference in the ball game. So that's who I got. Let me know who your MVP is down there in the comments section for today's pinned question. Just a second here, I'm going to tell you about our sponsor today. Well, I'm telling you about our sponsor and a great deal to get a great piece of Steelers apparel today. Make sure you get down there and let me know who your MVP was for this matchup. If you guys want a Steelers shirt to be wearing around the house, if you are an appreciator of minimalistic type of style like I am, I love this long sleeve gray t-shirt here with the Steelers branding there on the little patch. It's 40% off right now when you use our link, chatsports.com/pitweek3. The proceeds go to help us here at Chat Sports, so we'd really appreciate it if you're looking for another pajama shirt or just another Steelers shirt to add to your collection. 40% off. It's a great deal. It helps out our channel, chatsports.com/pitweek3 to get it done. So my takeaways versus New England. It's a lot more of the same with the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? Tell me if you've heard this before. A defensive performance where you have a lot of turnovers helps propel a struggling offense to a Steelers gritty victory. I mean, this has been the playbook for the last several seasons here in Pittsburgh, right? You're in a close game. The offense is struggling. The defense is the reason why you pretty much win the football game. And then you have a clutch drive late, right? And that's really been the formula, going back to Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph, to Russell Wilson and the Steelers last year. And now, with the offensive line not playing well, it certainly seems like that's the formula for winning, at least at this point in the Steelers' schedule. And that's my second takeaway, which is that this offensive line, guys, is not good enough. Plain and simply, it's not good enough. I mean, Rodgers has no time to throw. Jaylen Warren, for as good as he is and as good as we know that he is for much of this game on first down, the defense pretty much knew that they were running the football, which is a big criticism I have of Arthur Smith right now, is that he ran the football too much on first down today. There wasn't enough to keep them guessing on first down. And because of that, you were in second and long a lot. You were in third and long a lot, all this different stuff. And, when you get into those third and long situations and then those second and pass situations, and then you can't protect your quarterback who is 41 years old, it's going to create problems. And it's created problems for this offense for many years on end at this point. I said in a video that we did this year that bringing back Pat Meyer was the worst decision that this team made this offseason, and it seems like he's once again failing us. Troy Fautano has not looked as good as I want him to look through the first 3 weeks. Neither has Broderick Jones, and now it looks like Jones is dealing with a shoulder injury. I mean, it's just not good enough to this point, guys, and if it doesn't get better, it's going to hold back this team this season. Then we get to the punches save the day. Four turnovers on forced fumbles by the Steelers today. Cam Hayward forced one, Jabril Peppers forced one, Nick Herbig forced one, and Cole Holcomb forced one. So 4 different players punching the ball out. This is what the Steelers do. All right, this is what they do. There's a reason why this team over the last several seasons has led the league in turnovers. It's why they led the league in turnovers last year. It's because they got multiple players that can get the ball out. And if this defensive coaching staff does anything well, it's they teach the peanut punch better than any team in football. So those 4 turnovers saved the day today with as much as New England was moving the football. But, obviously we're going to talk about some of the struggles on defense here in just a second. But great job by this defense to get the ball out. So make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you haven't already to celebrate this Week 3 victory. A dub is a dub. Even though this week was a little bit of an ugly one, make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you haven't already. All right, so now continuing on here with our takeaways. here in this Week 3 win, which is that you got to be better on 3rd and 4th on defense, all right? They were just moving the chains and prolonging drives, and they were taking long fields. Like, they would start inside their own 20 and then get inside the Steelers' red zone multiple times, all right? They moved the ball extremely well, and this is now the 11th straight game. All right, count them. 11th straight game where the Steelers' opponent has gotten over 300 yards of offense. Now, obviously, with the turnovers and all that stuff, the timely plays, you're able to only give up 14 points today. But, you got to be better in those 3rd and 4th down situations, or else teams are going to be able to prolong drives, wear out this defense, and it's not always going to end in a victory if you keep doing those things. Steelers are pretty lucky that they had as many turnovers as they had today. And then I would say terrific resilience by the defense for being out there for as long as they were. Okay, the Patriots straight up dominated the time of possession battle today. 33 minutes and 20 seconds for the Patriots today, only 26 minutes and 40 seconds for the Steelers offense. To be out there that long and to play that final drive the way that they did, stopping them on that 4th and 1, was really, really a testament to this football team. It's a testament that they never broke when they got deep into their red zone, and they really did a good job creating those turnovers, forcing those fumbles, never giving up. Obviously, I think that there's some schematic things on the back end of the pass defense that need to get better. And we're going to talk about that on this channel over the next several days, some of the things that we see on the film, all that different stuff. But hey, man, at the end of the day, a win is a win. And, good teams find a way to win football games. And, I'm okay with things looking a little ugly here early in the season as long as they figure it out by the time we get to the middle stretch of this season, where you get Los Angeles and you get Green Bay and you get Indianapolis and you get the Ravens twice and you get all these tough games and you get Buffalo, right? Like, you got to be able to be firing on all cylinders by that point. So listen, man, if it takes you 3-4 weeks, maybe 5 games to really find your groove as a team, but you're collecting tough victories and you're coming up big in these big moments, that's going to be fine with me, all right? So I think that the offense showed up big time on their final drive after a really frustrating day at the office. The defense showed up big time, where even though they gave up a lot of yards, they made enough big plays and enough turnovers to get the victory. Obviously, the Steelers have a lot to work on if they're going to get to the place where they want to be, which is a legitimate Super Bowl contender by the end of the season. I will say I still have hope that they can get there, but now we're 3 weeks into the season and they haven't been that type of team yet. So certainly lots of stuff to work on, but it's much better to work on stuff with a win versus having to work on stuff coming off a loss. And now we are on to Dublin versus the Minnesota Vikings. What say you guys? Let me know down there in the comment section. Grade today's performance from the Steelers, A, B, C, D, or F. Honestly, I'm going to give them a C+. You come away with the victory. You made the plays when you were supposed to, but honestly, creating 5 turnovers, you should win this game by 3 scores. And they had opportunities to do that. They failed at that. And this team has certainly a lot of things they need to fix before we get to kind of this gauntlet that's coming up in the middle portion of the schedule. So some final thoughts here on this football game, 21-14 final. I thought that the Steelers showed some really great resiliency today when the Patriots had all the momentum. They were able to win the 4th quarter and make the plays that were needed to win. It's very indicative of a Mike Tomlin-led team where, you're in these tough games where it's not pretty, especially offensively, and you just find a way to get the job done. But it's definitely my big takeaway here, guys, is it's got to be better. Offensive line, we got to be better, both in run blocking and pass protection. We got to create run lanes for Jaylen Warren. He's just too big of a talent to not give him opportunities. And then, I think Arthur Smith needs to call a better game, frankly. Get more play action stuff going on early downs. You don't have to run it every single play on first down. You got to mix it up, keep defenses on their toes, all that different stuff. Wasn't a great game from Aaron Rodgers, but I expect him to play better in future games. But overall, man, just a tough, gritty win from the Pittsburgh Steelers. And this early into the season, you just got to keep collecting them, man, because you got a pretty difficult middle and end portion of your schedule. And you got Vikings, you've got Browns, and you got Bengals coming up. 3 very winnable games for this football team. And as I've been discussing all throughout this week, you got to take advantage of the opportunities that are presented over these next 3 weeks now. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really do appreciate all the support that you guys gave to us today. We will be coming at you guys with another post-game show once I get to collect my thoughts, watch the game over one more time. I'll have some more thoughts for you guys, some injury updates if there is any from Mike Tomlin in the post-game press conference, and any interesting things that Coach T or Aaron Rodgers or anybody else says in the locker room. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. I greatly appreciate you guys sticking around to the end. And until next time, here we go, Steelers.